Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM20 Beta Saver Top Hat with me, Daniel. We're managing my beloved Luton Town and trying to keep them in the Championship after two successive promotions in recent years. Today we're back for a massive game as we face promotion chasing Leeds, of course one of the biggest reputation sides in the Championship. They'll be hoping to get back to Premier League level while we're just hoping to stay at this one. We've had a pretty decent run since we've last been on camera. You can see we're now 4 points clear of the relegation zone. Don't be overwhelmed by us being in 16th place. It is a little bit deceiving as always the Championship is really close. Just 8 points separating 9th and 22nd. Of course we've got every chance of dropping to that bottom three. We've got a couple of players out for this game, but neither of them are first teamers, and otherwise we're doing a pretty decent job, and the board are relatively happy on board with us. But before we get into the episode, a massive thank you to everyone who continues to support the new series, as well as our long-term story with Dorking Wanderers. I really do appreciate your support with FM20, and hope you continue to enjoy the content. We haven't yet decided if this will be a 1 or 2 year save, probably depends on what happens for the rest of this year, but as soon as it finishes we will start our second long-term story, and all will be revealed on that front soon. Also, a quick apology for my lack of voice again in this one. It is gradually coming back, so hopefully we'll be back to full vocal power soon. But for now, I'm a little bit croaky still, so apologies for any effect that has on the commentary. But if you are enjoying this series with Luton Town, please do put a thumbs up on the video. And if you're enjoying the FM20 content in general, then subscribe for more daily content. But as we mentioned today, we've got a big game to worry about, but there are some other good bits of news off the pitch too. James Collins has started scoring and he's now actually the top scorer at the club. 6 goals he's managed to get now. That's a pretty decent return for him, particularly playing as a lone striker in a pretty poor side. He wants a new contract, which is why he's a little unhappy at the moment. Wants 11 grand a week when he's on 3.5, and I don't know that we can take that risk at the moment, because if we go down to League 1 level, deals like that would start to bankrupt us. We've got young Harry Cornick still playing well on the right. We obviously showed you his profile in the last episode, and John Lundstrom's been out injured, but he was in pretty decent form beforehand, and he has helped us have a pretty decent season. The bank balance is dropping, but it's still in the 5 millions, so that's starting to look pretty good for us. And if we go and have a look at the schedule, you can see what's happened since the last episode. So you're with me for that crucial comeback win at home to Hull, and he started a springboard of pretty good results. Only 1 defeat in 7 or 8 league games, which was followed up with a 1-1 draw against Blackburn. James Collins getting a first half goal for us, and we clung on after Sam Gallagher equalised. However, we followed that up with a disappointing game against Millwall, though it did turn into a pretty good game. We were 2-1 up at half time and were dominating till the 75-minute mark, but then 2 quick fire goals from Millwall as we very quickly ran out of steam, and unfortunately it looked like we were going to lose at that point, but then that man stepped up again. He scored the winner against Hull, and look when he popped up, 93rd minute to equalise, Kazenga Lualua quickly becoming a super sub hero, and of course he got the backflip out as well. Then started a run of good results against Midland teams, 2-1 win away at Derby, arguably our best result of the season so far, our only away win, and our only win against a promotion contender. Callum O'Dowda and James Collins put us 2-0 up, and we played really well for the most part, but again we panicked after letting in a goal, and it could have been level if it wasn't for a great save. Then at home to Bristol City we drew 1-1, again it was a 92nd minute equaliser. This side never knows when to give up, Andreas Weimann giving City the lead, but James Collins turned up in stoppage time, and again got himself another goal. It was another point for us, and it kept our heads above the water, and I just kept the confidence in the club, something that we're really proud of building. We then lost 2-0 at Fulham, a result you probably expect. Cavallero Mitrovic scoring the goals, which shows you how much quality they've got. But then another good draw in the Midlands, this time away at Birmingham. A 0-0 result, Sluga was in great form, but we managed to get a comfortable point. Then at home to Nottingham Forest, another crucial win. It was 1-1 at the break after Collins had given us the lead, but then Harry Cornick with an early second half goal, and again Simon Sluga was pretty good between the sticks. But away to Reading in the last game, it did all go wrong. Again Lualua got a goal off the bench, but at that point it made it 3-1, and we still managed to let in another after that. So a bit of a worry in terms of defensive performances there, and we did make a couple of changes as a result, and you'll see the changes at fullback today, as well as a couple in other areas. So we play at home to Leeds, a massive side, and I've got to be a little bit careful as well, because our following game is against Charlton, who are directly above us in the league, and we'd really like to have everyone fit for that one, so we may rest a few if we're losing at the hour mark. So let's go and have a look at the dynamic screen screen quickly, just so you can see how things are improving. The team cohesion's average, as is the dressing room atmosphere, but the managerial support is creeping up now, despite our really low reputation, and that's a really good sign moving forward. If we can get that in the green, I think things will come good. The one big issue we have got is team leader Alan Sheehan. He's lost trust in the manager, and of course as a team leader that's a really big problem for us. He's a club captain and that's not a good sign. Matty Pearson wants more playing time, but of course we've got Worrell and Bradley playing well, and we mentioned James Collins wanting a new deal, and Elliot Lee's still there from a selling Moncur. So let's go and have a look at the match preview for today. Not much else to talk about than focus on the match. I'd imagine there's going to be a lot of highlights for us, particularly defending at our end, so fingers crossed we'll be able to sneak at least a point. It would be a fantastic result if we could do so. The referee sent off a player this season already. That's a little bit of a concern for us, but it is a sellout at Kenilworth Road as we seem to have the fans back on side. So I've made a couple of changes today just to try and suit us playing at home. We've got James Bree and Dan Potts coming in as the two fullbacks. Craney and Galloway both had poor games against Reading. They were our backup fullbacks to start with, but they'd been in good form, so that's why they were in the team. Tunnicliffe in for Pelly Ruddock. Ruddock's generally playing away from home. He's got a greater fitness, but Tunnicliffe's the harder worker, so at home against the side that we're going to need to defend against, I feel like he's our best option. I might even drop him to a ball winner on support, but we'll see how the early stages unfold. We've got Izzy Brown back in the number 10 role. He's had a really awful season actually. Considering he's taking 25 grand a week on loan, I can't wait for him to leave the club. We can get a better replacement in and probably revolutionise things, so if we do stay here for season 2, you can expect not to see him at the club. We've got Lundstrom back on the bench after a long injury, which will obviously solve the problem between Ruddock and Tunnicliffe, but for now our 11 is as follows. We've got Sluger in goal as the sweeper keeper on attack. He's had a brilliant season so far, and he's now the outright best player at the club in rating. He's improving off the pitch too, really are proud of his performance. We've got Potts and Bree at fullback as mentioned, Bradley and Worrell at centre half, Tunnicliffe and Villar in central midfield, just quietly gone about his business, the Spaniard. Cornick and O'Dowd are on the wings with Izzy Brown the number 10, and James Collins up front on his own, hoping to continue his good scoring form. So let's get into this game against Leeds with our usual balanced mentality, and fingers crossed we can get a point or 3 to keep edging us up the table. Well, we're into the game. It's a 4-3-3 for Leeds, and I don't know if it's just me not feeling well, but that pink writing looks really blurry on there. They've got players like Helder Costa, Patrick Bamford, Calvin Phillips in the middle of midfield. They've got so many top players and a great goalkeeper too, so this really is going to be a difficult test. The likes of Alioski and Nketiah are sitting on the bench, so many game changers if they need them, and if we can get a point it would be a fabulous result, though of course we're going to go out with the intention of getting 3. Most of the lads are motivated as we ask for a better performance, so let's go and get into the first half and see if they can respond on the pitch. It's James Collins with a kick-off to Izzy Brown, hoping for a better performance from him. Needs a bit of magic, he's a really good player on paper, just hasn't performed in any role. It's Collins in straight away though, edge of the box with a chance. Unfortunately he's been forced to turn back, and Leeds managed to get it clear in the end. Bradley knocks it down for Villar, good defending by the centre half, and with 5 gone it's 0-0, neither side yet to have a shot. It's a throw on the left hand side for Leeds, nearly 10 minutes gone now. Phillips picks it up for Shackleton, really good sharp passing from them. You'd expect nothing less for a side competing for the title in front of a full house at Kenilworth Road. Out to the right back, Luke Ayling, lovely switch of play for Leeds. Unfortunately the one-on-ones issue still isn't fixed, so if we see a goal it's going to be a cross or a screamer, and here they are in a crossing position, back to Klitsch, and it's a brilliant save by Sluger. Tip behind, but Costa gets a touch on it, and as a result it's going to be a goal kick. 15 gone, it was the only shot on target, and we've survived it so far. It's Luke Ayling on the right with a throw in again though. Really attacking position for Leeds. We're struggling here as Harrison into Bamford. Back to Click again. First one's blocked, the second one's awful, and it's wide and out for a Luton goal kick. We're still yet to have a shot as 25 minutes have been reached. Leeds have only had the one on target though. Tunnicliffe wins it back and then gives it straight to Douglas. Think he might have forgotten what team he was on there. Out to Douglas again on the left, back to Calvin Phillips. Leeds are absolutely dominating this match. Usually we have at least even possession in these games. We're keeping the ball well but not really threatening. In this one we've only had 35% of the ball, which shows how dominant Leeds have been. The ball's clear but it's straight to Cooper again, and Leeds can build start from the halfway line. Out to the right hand side to Luke Ayling. He's trying to get it into the box. The voice is very so slightly starting to crack, so I do apologise for it. Though Harrison has another shot from the edge. Brilliant save by Simon Sluger, and it looks like he's going to need to be the hero again. If only he'd been this good in real life, we wouldn't have had any of these problems with the club. Sluga makes another save from the corner, though we should be concerned about a free header from 6 yards. Half an hour gone, though it's still 0-0, and that's the most important stat at this stage. It's a Douglas free kick for Leeds, blocked off the wall behind for a corner. We've got a couple of yellow cards, the fullbacks are struggling, though we have managed to have one shot on target, even though we didn't get to see it on camera. Harrison into the box from the corner, Sonny Bradley heads away, and now we finally got a chance to see us further up the pitch, but the throw in from Bree straight to Shackleton. I really thought we were going to get an attacking highlight there, but we literally just threw it into Leeds, and now Douglas can go long from the left back area. It's out to Luke Ayling on the right. He's got two overlapping, one of them's Harrison, smashes the woodwork and Worrell clears. We're lucky to survive by the skin of our teeth, and we're going to put our fullbacks onto defensive duties. We're getting caught over the top by the overlapping fullbacks, and we need to have something in place to protect them. We're going to put Tunnicliffe as a ball winner as well, just so he's sitting that little bit deeper. Let's get back into it with 5 minutes to the break and see if we can hold on to half time. Well, it is 0-0, the lads are fighting hard, and it's a brilliant result if we can keep it. Sluga's made 4 good saves already, and we're just going to try and encourage the lads. It's Nketiah who's come on at half time, the wonder kid replacing Shackleton, a midfielder. I presume that means they've gone 2 up front as well. Helder Costa on the left wing at the byline. We've got to block the cross, but we don't do anything. Bamford gets there first, but Joe Worrell with a brilliant tackle and a great clear pass to find Izzy Brown. Who can he get in here? He tries to find Collins, but it's a really poor ball. Izzy Brown again having a terrible game, so we might have to take him off soon. We've got Glenn Ray on the bench, so we can go to a holding midfielder, which we may need with Leeds switching to a front 2. Could make a big change for us later in the year, as the number 10 hasn't really worked. Is O'Dowda back to Villar, the playmaker? Into Dan Potts, who tries to switch it. It's a terrible ball though, and Costa intercepts, though Tunnicliffe does well to hound Bamford. Now Worrell and Bree play a 1-2, all the way back to Sluga in goal. Long ball forward and the voice is going, but Callum O'Dowda could have nicked that. It goes back to the keeper and it's cleared by Leeds. Luke Ayling getting it right back. Good switcher play out to Helder Costa. He's in on the other side. Crosses for Nketiah who puts it in. And our resistance has failed at the start of the second half. Leeds lead 1-0 deservedly. A really poor start from us. It's not been a good game. And we might have to make some changes shortly. It's a throw on the right hand side for Leeds. Luke Ayling finds McCalmont. He's got plenty of options but goes for the big switch. Douglas in Akers on the right. He's got it on the Leeds left, our right hand side. Trying to deliver from the byline. Helder Costa shoots but it's just wide of the post. And it remains 1-0 with 5 gone in the second. Well, we briefly paused to change our fullbacks back to automatic duties. They weren't working as well on defence. They're not that good games either way, and we may just go back to the other 2 after. It's Sonny Bradley at the back with a long ball though. Tries to find Cornick, but it's not a good one. It's so easy for Leeds to defend at the moment. We're just playing right into their hands. We can't get past the halfway line and they're just absolutely dominating, and we might even try and control the game after, just to try and keep the ball a bit more. It's Ayling to Harrison though. It could be 2-0 if we're not careful. Glitch getting the ball in the middle. And Calvin Phillips back to McCalmont again, out to Douglas on the left hand side. We've still got pending changes, so this will probably end in a goal. It often does when that's the situation. Ayling back to Klitsch who shoots. It's a good block and it's cleared by Tunnicliffe. It's a Leeds corner on the left, an outswinger to be taken by Harrison. Everyone missed it and White gets a shot in. Brilliant block from Bree on the line. That's fantastically there and the second one hits the bar and we're managing to survive at the moment. Into Klitsch and Sluga saves the header. How it's still 1-0 I do not know. Just over an hour gone, I think it's time for changes. We've got to try and do something about this. So we're going to go to a control mentality, positive as it's now called. But to counteract that, I'm going to bring on Glenn Ray in the holding role, take off Izzy Brown as the number 10. So we'll be more positive but play out from the back and use our holding midfielder more importantly. So he's come on there as a defensive midfielder on support, and we're going to make the usual change on the left as well. O'Dowda replaced by super sub Lualua, an inside forward on attack, and hopefully he'll be able to find a goal for us to get us back on level terms. We've got James Bree really struggling for fitness at right back, not quite sure of the reasons, he's not played for a while, so Craney will come on for him as well, and they're the 3 changes and the tactical tweaks made. A core of the game remaining is still only 1-0, and although Leeds have dominated from start to finish, while there's only a 1 goal lead it could be anyone's game. It's White on the halfway line for Leeds though. Long ball forward down the left hand side, Craney heads away as far as Cornick, Tunnicliffe plays a 1-2 with him, and we've gone back to Worrell the centre half. Into Craney who gives it away, and Nketiah's in 1-on-1. Thankfully the 1-on-1 finishing's broken though, so it goes comfortably over the bar. An awful pass by the substitute Craney, and we're very lucky to survive again. We're back with Calvin Phillips in central midfield for Leeds as they build at the back from a throw-in. It's Phillips holding it up, they're playing lovely football, but if we can nick it from one mistake, we will be able to get the goal. Tunnicliffe almost does just that. Looked like a bit of a lunging challenge, but the ref let him get away with it, though Leeds have won it back pretty quickly. And Ketty has got in at the other end from it. Good save by Simon Sluga again. And if one-on-ones were working in this version of Football Manager, we'd be 3 or 4 down for sure. Thankfully it's not fixed yet, although it will be by the full release, so at that stage we're going to have to rethink our plans as we'll probably get beaten heavily each week. It's Douglas on halfway for Leeds, no impact made at all by the substitutes, so I'm just going to go all out attack for the last 5 and see if we can nick a goal from somewhere. Craney with a throw into Joe Worrell, building from the back with Sonny Bradley, out to the left to Potts, and we've got a man over here. Can we get Lawar in behind? Collins is making a run too, he's in 1-on-1. Oh, he shoots from the edge and it's blocked. Good save by Casilla. It's tipped behind for a corner kick, and that was our best chance to equalise. Apologies for the cracking voice as it went in, as Collins gets to the corner. Worrell's shot's blocked and it's out to Villa, but he's adjudged to have been offside. Probably the best chance we'll get to equalise, but at least the lads have put up a fight. It's Harrison on the right hand side for Leeds, just 10 seconds left of stoppage time. Potts clears, but it's not fallen to any Luton player, and I think that is going to be just about it. A 1-0 defeat, it probably should have been more, but we did have that late chance to equalise, that the lads have put up a pretty decent fight. We're playing a side that'll be up in the top 6 for sure. Brabin wants to say we're disappointed, and most of the lads are fired up from that, so it must have been the right choice. So although we did fall to defeat and get outplayed, the goal scoring winner was wonder kid Eddie Nketiah, and if you go and have a look at how good he is for an example, he's going to be a world class player for Arsenal, and that shows the difference of what we're competing with. We cannot get players like that to this club. So that's where the difference is at the moment. Our lone stars are the likes of Izzy Brown, and he's been absolutely awful in these recent games, so unfortunately we're not able to get a result. I've just noticed a spelling mistake in that match report as well. It's a bit of a damp squib of a spectacle. I'm sure that means damp squid, but there we go, that's an interesting moment. A little mistake that's made us smile after that match. So I hope the fans stay on side with us because they can see that we put everything into that match. We've just not got a good enough side to compete with Leeds and the likes, and as a result we'll have to take a few defeats against them. But if you think back last time we played at home to a big side, we lost 6-2 at home to West Brom, so this really is progress and we look far more solid, and I just hope we can keep that up for the season. It's not the sort of result that's going to define our year. We need to beat some of the sides in and around us, and speaking of that, we play Charlton in midweek. That's going to be a massive game for the club. So I think we're going to leave it a while before the next episode now, try and get through a big run of games, and hopefully time to recover the voice as well. I can only thank you for putting up with my squeaky croak. So I've got 2 games in mind looking at the schedule, either Fulham on Boxing Day, that looks a good match, or alternatively Birmingham on the 11th of January, another side that are doing pretty well this year. As you can see, they're both in and around the playoff spots at the moment, so both going to be difficult games, or if we can find someone in and around us for that stage of the season, then maybe we will go and show that one instead. But we dropped to 18, still 3 points clear of the bottom 3, but it could be any side from about 8th downwards getting relegated, just 10 points separating all those sides. It really is going to be a close one this season. Probably suits us as we've got a chance to stay in the pack, but if we lose 3 or 4 in a row, we could get a cut adrift pretty quickly. But if you did enjoy this episode and that spirited performance against Leeds, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Again, a massive thank you to everyone that continues to support the series. I really do appreciate it. If you've not seen any of our One Club story yet, please do go and check that one out as well. We completed Season 1 and had the end of year review yesterday, so we're looking forward to the start of Season 2 tomorrow. We'll have our big summer transfer special before playing our first game of season the following day, so 2 big days of action coming up, and I hope you'll come and join me for that one. I'm recording them a bit later, so I'm hoping my voice will have been recovered by then. I really do appreciate your support in this one, and apologise for any slight squeaks in the commentary. Subscribe to the channel for daily FM20 content, 2 episodes a week from this beta save, and the other 5 days are our long-term story with Dorking Wanderers, which will continue long-term on the channel. Once this series is finished, we'll be starting our second long-term story too, and all will be revealed about that one soon, so do keep your eyes peeled for news on that front, as I'm certainly very excited about it. But a massive thanks for watching this one and your continued support of the channel as always, and I hope to see you next time for another big championship relegation battle.